Shalom, brother Don Israel. Shalom, Mark. How you doing? Glad to see you on here. Oh man. Shalom, brother Dodd. How you doing? Shalom, Salakia. Shalom, twin, man. Like I said, twin in this thing, man. Shalom, You're doing pretty good. Shoot, it's always a good time. Shoot, we can edify brothers and sisters with the class and everything, man. Teaching our people going at these false doctrines and false holidays, so on and so forth. So, praise God. Always a good thing. We're just waiting for some brothers and sisters to click in and go ahead and get it started. They say no, it's I ain't gonna lie, man. All praise to the Most High, man, and the Son, Yahweh Shai. The Most High God, man. I don't know if brothers and sisters have peeped it out. Brothers and sisters that have been in the truth for a number of years. Shalom, Sister Vegan. How you doing, sis? How the Most High God be making it rain on they holidays, man. So it is pouring. Had been pouring down raining, man, on this damn wicked Mother's Day. Shalom, house of brother Daniel and Sister Mary Houston. How y'all doing? Shalom, our neighbor. Shalom. I just find it funny, man. The Most High God always making it rain on these holidays, man. I enjoy it, man. Man, I love it to the T, man. Because he disappointed their devices, They thinking they finna go out and be cute and all this. Most High God literally rain on their day. So all praises to that, man. Because nowhere in the scriptures will you find to celebrate Mother's Day. They pick one day. Hey, you have a mother and a great wife according to the scriptures. They should be celebrated every day. Why just with one day as the father, as family members? Esau, our people say they hate white supremacy, but we literally do everything that they tell us to do. Everything, man. People got to come up out of that program. Precept that we always kind of bring out, man. Gonna continue to keep bringing out. Go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 26. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 26. And it reads, better be quick on the trigger. So the Hanaya, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. So the Most High God commanded us to be separate from this society, from their ways, from their religions. The Most High God commanded us to be holy. So if brothers and sisters are holy according to the Bible, you shouldn't be celebrating Mother's Day. You shouldn't be celebrating because it's nowhere in the scriptures, brothers and sisters. Let's jump up. Verse 23, and ye shall not walk in the manners of the nations. Mother's Day is a manner of the nations. Nowhere in the scriptures does it tell you to do that. These things were not founded by the Most High God. These things were established by man. It says, verse 23 from the top, and ye shall not walk in the manners of the nations, which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. So we see that the Most High God, he don't like us celebrating these things outside of his high holy days. The laws that we should be celebrating is written in the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, chapter 23 on down. That's literally telling you, going into 7-day Sabbath, the Passover, Feast of Pentecost, the new moons, the Feast of Tabernacles, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Dedication. These are the high holy days that we are supposed to be celebrating as a nation of people. Because all these wicked holidays do is just keep our people broke. That's all that they do, man, and keep holes in our pockets. Shalom, shalom, Sister Adelia. Shalom, M. Williams, 64. Shalom, brothers and sisters. No, sis, our neighbor says, when Yahushua born, they praised the mother only that day. Mary said, listen to her son. Well, let's see what the scriptures say. Because even Christ, and that's a precept. I ain't gonna lie, that's a spirit, because that's literally where I was finna go first, because I know they do try to bring that out. They do always try to bring that out. Give me a minute. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse 27. That is the spirit. I know you ask. It says, when Yahushua born, they praised the mother only that day. Mary said to listen to her son. Yeah, you have to kind of give us an account of that. Remember, it was a blessing that she had Christ. Remember, they weren't actually praising Mary. They were actually praising Yahushua by him being born. But this is a scripture that Christians love to go to. The book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse 27. This is the book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse 27. And it came to pass, as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, blessed is the womb that bare thee, and the paps which thou hast sucked. So this woman came to Christ and was saying, blessed is the woman that bare you, trying to do what? Give all honor and praises to Mary. Let's see what Christ said. Did Christ agree with that, or did he disagree? Verse 28. But he said, yea, rather, blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. So we see Christ correct her on that, because we know a lot of times women love to get praise to other women. That's mainly what this society is built upon. That's why our nation is so divided. When I talk about our nation, I'm talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Due to the Willie Lynch and Esau's crafty tactics, they have basically put the man against the woman, to where now it's no peace in the home. You got women thinking they can do the job of men, thinking that they don't need men, thinking you don't need fathers in their lives to help guide the children. That's why a lot of times people put emphasis on Mother's Day. They do it big on Mother's Day. And then on Father's Day, they give them a damn tie, and barely want to cook them something to eat. So both days are wicked as hell. Not saying that we should do one and praise one than the other. We understand that that's what this world do. But even Christ was giving us understanding that, guess what? Blessed are the people that hear the words of this Bible. Like we said, because in the scriptures, we don't see those things. We don't see to keep Father's Day or Christmas or any of these wicked days. That's why we literally went to the law in Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 23. Shalom, Officer Yaakov. Shalom, Soldier Renard. Sister Heaven Hound. Brother Lamar. Shalom, shalom to you, brothers and sisters. So we see these things in the scriptures. They put a big emphasis on Mother's Day. They put a big emphasis on, like we say, women in Egyptology, calling the sisters goddesses and gods and all these different things. But it's a tactic to that. A lot of times brothers are just doing it to try to get in between sisters' legs, man. And a lot of times you puff sisters' heads up enough that guess what? That they can fall for those things, man. So we won't read about those things in the scriptures. Even Christ corrected this woman. It says, verse 28, but he said, yea, rather blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. And when the people were gathered thick together, he began to say, this is an evil generation. They seek a sign, and there shall no sign be given but the sign of Jonas the prophet. Even Christ was cutting them up during that time, because just like in that time, guess what? This is a evil, wicked generation as well, man. You know, we see outside they don't put the woman over the man, to where now you really do have women thinking that they can beat up a man. Like we said, that is just straight madness. You literally have women thinking that they don't need man in these societies, when everything that we know was basically built up by men. It's cool that sisters say that today when everything is already established and in order. But even, on a certain podcast that I listened to, they said, if the men went away, who would be able to keep up the infrastructure? That's not grounded in the Bible. The Bible understood that the men are the leaders, they are the heads, they are the providers, protectors. Not saying that some sisters can't go out there and work, because today it do take two people to work in a household, but we absolutely need men. We absolutely need the sisters, but everybody have to be in their respected roles. And that's the point that the Bible is conveying. Shalom, shalom, brother Dexter. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 34. Celebrate Mother's Days. These are ancient deities, basically. Similar to going into Ashtar, the goddess of fertility. A lot of these holidays basically celebrate and worship the same deities. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 34. And it reads, I'll start at verse 35. I'll start at verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And it reads, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So we see what Christ saying, nowhere should we put our parents over this work, or even over him or the Most High. We see that a lot of times, like we say, that how sisters are put on a pedestal, and that's to their detriment as well, because like we say, you teach women that they can have it all when that's really not the case. We have to stop lying. And that's what the truth is all about, man. Setting things back in order, setting the right roles that sisters are supposed to be in, man. Sisters are supposed to be nurturers, teachers at home, to be able to, guess what, give the younger women the example on how to be good wives. Guess what? Good sisters in this truth. Keepers at home. This is the role that the Bible has set for the sisters, but in today's society, America has set those things totally opposite, man. Totally opposite. Ak was saying, good, Ak. Good, Dexter. How you doing, Ak? It says, we are their Godhead and Yahweh Shah is theirs. That's right. You got the Most High, Christ, man, woman, child. That is the rightful order that the Most High God has set up. But the society has put the woman over the man and put things totally out of order. So now you see it on Facebook, to where whose plate do you fix first? And you have certain women on there saying that I fix my children plates first. And you got a damn husband, sis? I mean, come on, man. We want to follow that respected order, man. Brother Ezra, Soldier Ezra was saying, can we break down 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 13? I wonder, is this the same precept that sister asked for last week? I know sister, yeah, this is the same precept, that sister whatchamacall was asking for a breakdown. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 2. Do well. So this is basically saying what Romans chapter 13 goes into. I know sister clever lawyer asked about this. So this is just basically going into obey the laws of the land. Now, like how we said, if the laws of the land try to come against God, obviously you pick God's laws over the laws of the land. And it's saying the same thing that Romans 13 and 1 is saying. There's a precept for it. Make sure y'all write these precepts down, because a lot of times brothers and sisters ask these same questions. This is the book of Romans chapter 13 and verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. So meaning Esau is in power because the Most High God allowed it. He allowed it because what? We broke the commandments. And it's just as simple as that. So we have to abide by these laws, or else guess what? You get your behind locked up. But when it comes to them trying to make us keep their laws over God's laws, that's where, that's a no-go. Verse 2, whosoever therefore resisted the power, meaning you want to be out here and be a lawbreaker, just do whatever without you trying to keep God's laws or put God's laws over their laws. It's a punishment and a judgment to be had, brothers and sisters. It says, whosoever therefore resisted the power, resisted the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive of themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works. Meaning, if you're keeping God's laws and the laws of the land, the Most High God will make you safe in this captivity. He'll deal with you righteously. He'll put on the spirits of those people to do what? To deal with us righteously. Just think about how many times brothers and sisters may have got pulling over in this truth, and they may have given you a warning or just sent you on your way. Think about those things, man. That's all because of this scripture right here, and brothers and sisters striving to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So that's something you got to think about when they bringing down harsh judgments on you. That's something you have to think about in your spirit. Am I, guess what, truly walking in the spirit? Where, guess what, these judgments keep happening to me? That's something you have to contemplate within yourself, because only you know what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Verse 3, for rulers are not a terror to good works, but the evil. Without then not be afraid of the power, do that which is good, meaning keep the commandments, and thou shalt have praise of the same. So this is basically going into what? Follow the land, the laws of the land. You understand that? Soldier Ezra. I know Brother Dexter said, Con, that precept was my favorite, Matthew 12 and 50, when he was talking to his mom in this context. Let's get that. Chapter 12 and verse 50. Give me some feedback, soldiers, and let me know that you understood it. If not, we can kind of go a little bit more into it if you need it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 50, and it reads, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. And that's a good precept. That's when you, guess what, are really in the spirit. Those people that are walking with you in this truth, those are our spiritual parents, man. Those are the ones that's really our family members. Not to say that your real mother or your earthly mother is not your real mother, but this takes it to a whole nother level on a spiritual side as well as a carnal side, man. Those really are our family members, what Christ is saying. The people that are on one accord, that understand that we have to put the Most High God first and keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. These things are heavy in this truth, man, because even sometimes you may have brothers and sisters that struggle with mom not being in the truth, with daddy not being in the truth. And they know that they can try to bend you to their will to get certain things out of you. Like on a Sabbath, baby, come over here and can you go to the store for me? Like, no, mama, I go after the Sabbath. You know what, baby, you don't love me, baby. And all they give you that sad song. But guess what? We should not give our family members power over us, man, to break God's laws, man. We can't do that. We can't have it both ways. Know what brothers and sisters know. What precept? Don't give your family power over you. Let's see. Sirach chapter. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 19. The book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 19. And it reads, give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest they repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again. So we see where, guess what, we shouldn't give our mother, our fathers, our family power over us to do what? To go against the laws of the Most High. And that's especially on this day, because you heard a lot of sad words. Baby, you ain't come by and see me on Mother's Day. Oh, you don't love me. You ain't gonna come by and give me a present. Yeah, mom, I love you. But I'm not gonna go against the laws of the Most High God. That's where the rubber meets the road. They say 91 degrees is hot out there. You say no, they say, Brother Lamoy, it never rains in Southern California, man. Yashar Yehuda, Shalom. Why do you think Yah allowed Pharaoh Necho to kill Josiah in Second Kings? Because King Josiah, he was a great king, but at the end he went off by meddling in business that didn't pertain to him. That was the judgment when brothers and sisters, you got that busy Bonita off of what was that, Living Color. I always knew about the business, always in somebody else's business and things that didn't pertain to her. So the Most High God basically brought Joe's judgment on Josiah in that matter. But overall, he still was a great king. Let's get there right quick. Go to the book of Second Kings, chapter 23. And it tells you that too. Second Kings, you said what are Second Kings 20, chapter 23, verses 29 through 30. I want it before then. It tells Chronicles, let me see. I think it's the precept to that. Well, we'll read this precept, then we'll go to the precept. This is the book of Second Kings, chapter 23 and verse 29. And it reads, in his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates. And King Josiah went up against him, and he slew him at Megiddo when he had seen him. And his servants carried him in a chariot dead from Megiddo and brought him to Jerusalem and buried him there in the sepulchre. And the people of the land took Jehoaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him and made him king in his father's stead. So now we have to get the understanding of this. So you want to make sure that you also, when you read First and Second Kings, you have to also read First and Second Chronicles. Because whatever First and Second Kings don't kind of cover, First and Second Chronicles kind of covers that. So let's go to Second Chronicles. What is that? 33 and verse 24. Forgive me, I'm trying to read my handwriting. $33. That's is that. 33 and verse 24. Let's see. No, that's not what I want. I want we just covered this too not too long ago. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. Because it's going into the battle of Carchemish. This is like one of the first world wars in the ancient times. Josiah's. Oh, okay. This is what I want. The book of Second Chronicles, chapter 35 and verse 23. This is a precept for that to further give you understanding on why he was killed. This is the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 35 and verse 23. I'm going to start up at verse. No, I'm going to start at verse 21. No, I'm going to start up at verse 20. I know, brothers and sisters, hey, it is what it is. This is the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 35 and verse 20. After all this, when Josiah had prepared the temple, Necho, Pharaoh of Egypt, came up to fight against Carchemish by Euphrates, and Josiah went out against him. But he sent ambassadors to him, saying, what have I to do with thee, thou king of Judah? So Pharaoh Necho is saying, I don't have animosity towards you. So, basically, what are you doing? Why are you coming up against me? Why are you meddling in business that have nothing to do with you? It says, I come not up against thee this day, but against thy house wherewith I have war. For God commanded me to make haste. So the other nations knew about our God. A lot of nations knew that, guess what? The Most High God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, was basically in control of everything, and how he would put spirits on kings and pharaohs to, guess what? To do his will. This is what Pharaoh, king of Egypt, is letting them know, because don't think that history wasn't passed down from how the Most High God brought those plagues on the Egyptian kings. Don't forget about that history. And they understood these things because they documented everything. Those things are sketched in stone. It says, I have war, for God commanded me to make haste. Forbear thee from meddling with God, who is with me, that he destroy thee not. So even Pharaoh Nico understood these things, man. Verse 22, nevertheless, Josiah would not turn his face from him, but disguised himself, that he might fight with him. So even the other nations, Hamite gave Josiah good counsel not to, guess what, interfere in matters that didn't belong to you. It says that he might fight with him, and hearkening not unto the words of Necho from the mouth of God, and came to fight in the valley of Megiddo. Let's get a precept, man. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 26 and verse 17. Let's get a precept. So brothers and sisters have to watch with meddling in other brothers and sisters' business, especially if it doesn't concern you. Now, I understand that it can be a fine line, unlike when you see a brother and sister going off. Now, that is business that concern you, because guess what? We ought to love our brother as we love ourselves, and that is a law for us to correct one another or say something when we see brothers and sisters going off. Let's say 26 and verse 17. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 26 and verse 17, and it reads, he that passeth by and meddleth with strife belongeth not to him, is like one that taketh a dog by the ears. Meaning, when you messing with things that have no concern in you, it's like you agitating a dog. You take a dog, try to pull him by the ears, like how we tell them, try to do that with a pit bull and see what that pit bull will do to you, man. Guess what? You're going to end up getting what? Bit back. In this case, Josiah ended up losing his life, man. So brothers and sisters have to be mindful of these things, man. Not saying that you shouldn't correct people when we see them going off, but it's a difference between you meddling in something that has absolutely nothing to do with you and you putting yourself in that business. That's how brothers and sisters do get hurt. Let's go back to the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 35 and verse 23. And it reads, and the archer shot at King Josiah, and the king said to his servants, have me away, for I am sore wounded. So for Josiah meddling with Pharaoh Necho, guess what? He was what? Shot, and eventually he died. So that's the precept to that, Yeshar Yehuda. Give me some feedback, brother, if you understand that. Shalom, Judah King. Shalom. Yeah, that's right, brother Don Israel. Luke chapter 14, verse 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brother, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciples. That's a great precept. Shalom, Princess K. How you doing, sis? They say elder male lions eat before the cubs. That's right. That's a great analogy. Oh, his phone. I forgot your phone was broke. All praise. Well, that's the spirit, man. We kind of go back over those things as well. I think this is a precept that Officer Yaakov was asking. I think this is a precept that me and Soldier Donovan was talking about the ox that treaded. Is that it? Yeah, with the ox. Yeah, this is a precept me and Soldier Donovan. I know I kind of touched on it a little bit. This is the book of Proverbs. Ak is asking about Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 4. Let's get it right quick. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 4, and it reads, where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of an ox. So you have to understand the attributes and the characteristics of an ox. Think about what an ox does. Ox is a strong, dumb animal. It's out there to guess what? Do the work. If you use an ox correctly, guess what? He can bring increase to your land. But guess what? If you use that ox and it's not taming them right, guess what? He'll doo-doo all over your place, man. If you're not cleaning up and picking up behind it, this is what the first part is going into. Guess what? He can be a disaster to your land, because all you have him out there doing is just eating and pooping everywhere. If you're not properly training him and putting him to work like he's supposed to be fit for, then guess what? He'll do that first part. Let's read that first part again. The book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 4, where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increases by the strength of the ox. So this on two folds right here. If you don't have an ox, guess what? You have a pretty clean area because they're not doo-doo and trashing up everything. But guess what? You also need that ox to do what? Bring increase to your land, to be able to plow that ground so you can be able to do what? Plant seeds and bring forth fruits. We think on this thing on a spiritual level, man. You know, this thing is real heavy. Real heavy. You understand that, Officer Yakov? Shalom, Timothy B. How you doing? Shalom, Sister Bossing Up. How you doing? Kiara Loader Milk. What you talking about, Judah King? Says, how many good kings did Judah have and how many Ephraim? That's a good question, brother Yeshua Yehuda. I'm gonna tell you this right off the bat. The northern tribe had no good kings out. But when you go to the southern tribe, they had some good kings. Hezekiah was a good king. Josiah was a good king. Those were some of the good kings that they had. But a lot of them were wicked as well. But the northern tribe, they had no good kings, man. So in order to understand about the good kings and the bad kings, you want to read First and Second Kings and First and Second Chronicles. That's always a good place to start. Always a good place. And we kind of read through them real quick. See, brothers and sisters want to make sure when y'all reading Kings, you want to write down the kings that ruled during that specific time. We have King David. We obviously have King Saul. Then we have King Solomon. Then after King Solomon, you have Jeroboam. So we see Jeroboam wasn't a good king because he didn't hearken to the counsel. Let's just skim through it real quick. Touch on some more that we don't normally touch on. Let me see. Give me a minute. So we got Ahab. Ahab was wicked. Let's go to the book of First Kings, chapter 21 and verse 1. The book of First Kings, chapter 21 and verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth, the Jezreelite, had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. So we all know about Samaria. Ahab had the wicked wife, Canaanite wife, Jezebel. It says, and we know that Ahab coveted after Naboth's land, coveted it so much that he did what? He had him killed for that land. It says, and Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, give me thy vineyard that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it, or it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbid me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. So we see ultimately when you read down that, guess what? He didn't do that. So he had him basically put to death for that land. That's another one. Let me skim through some more. Let's go to, just want to touch on some kings real quick. Azariah. Let's go over to 2 Kings chapter 15. So we have 2 Kings chapter 15 and verse 27. Y'all make sure y'all write these things down. The book of 2 Kings chapter 15 verse 27. And in the 52nd year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekah, the son of Remaliah, began to reign over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 20 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, and departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. So we see where, guess what? Pekah was wicked as hell, but we see where Azariah, we're going to keep reading down. Remember, I just want to hit on some key points. Verse 32. This is the book of 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 32. In the second year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, began Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king to reign over Judah. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jerusa, the daughter of Zadok. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and he did according to all that his father Uzziah had done. So we see where you have Uzziah that was righteous. You see what we have Pekah, which was unrighteous. Let's jump over to chapter 17. This is the book of Second Kings, chapter 17 and verse 1. In the 20th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hosea, the son of Eli, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. So we see where Ahaz, a northern tribe king, began to reign, and he did that which was what? Which was evil. So we have accounts of all of the northern kings being evil as hell, but you have southern kings fairly righteous, like Uzziah, Hezekiah, Josiah. Manasseh was wicked, but later he did what? He repented. When you're reading the book of the prayer of Manasseh, so you know he tried to recover from those things. But this is a good read, and that is a great question. Brothers and sisters can continue to read and kind of get more in detail on the good and the bad kings of Judah. That would be for a good class as well. Shalom, shalom, sister Nakut back Israel. How you doing, sis? Great info online. I want the smoke. Why you camps never bring up Bam, Molech, etc., and the rest of the fallen angels, include Satan and Lucifer. Also, many of these camps wear that wicked so-called Star of David. Well, great info online. We don't wear the Star of David. You know, we see it as an idol, so we don't. So remember, you can't put all camps together. Remember, it's different camps that teach different things. First of all, we do talk about those things. The Bible tells us not to give up our sons to Molech and Baal. So we understand that these are ancient deities, but these things are still prevalent in today's society. Us sacrificing our kids to them is going into us not teaching our people the truth about the Bible, still having them in these wicked holidays. Even today, if you celebrating Mother's Day, you worshiping some type of deity today, some type of idol, going into Estar or the mother of the earth or the goddess of fertility. We know it's especially ascribed to Easter, but those other deities cover multiple things as well. So we do talk about that. Now, as far as Satan and Lucifer and fallen angels, the Bible does not subscribe to fallen angels. That would mean that God does not have his kingdom in order. If you have a group of angels that's going to disobey God, that's not what the Bible teaches. You have the wrong understanding of that. Remember, it's two definitions of angels in the Bible. One definition is going into celestial beings that dwell with the Most High. Then the other definition of angels is just a messenger of God. So guess what? Men, regular men, earthly men can be messengers of God. So those scriptures that you were talking about is going into the men of the Most High. Those are the ones that fail. But angels are not programmed like regular men. They obey the will of the Father. And we go over this constantly. You know, that's what the book of Enoch teaches people. That's why we tell brothers and sisters, don't read the book of Enoch because it contradicts the Bible. The Bible is clear. Another precept we always bring out, Psalms 103. Always bring out. Just going to give you a few to show you that the angels don't do what they want to do. They are in complete order and submission with the Most High God. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 103 and verse 19. The Lord had prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all. Bless the Lord, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. So we see what the angels, they do the will of the Most High God's voice, and they don't disobey his commandments, man. Get another precept. Let's go to the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 8, verse 21. This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 8, verse 21. Whose throne is inestimable, whose glory may not be comprehended, before whom the host of angels stand with trembling. So we see that the angels are in utter fear of the Most High God. They do what the Most High God tells them to do. It's us that don't do the will of the Father, man. We want to do what we want to do. So as far as Satan and Lucifer, Lucifer is basically going into the white man. Satan does the will of God. Satan don't do what he want to do. All these things obey and it's under the control of the Most High. Satan is an employee of the Most High. Let's go to the book of Job. Satan don't do anything without God say so. This is the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 7. The book of Job, chapter 1, verse 7. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, and one that feared God, and eschewed evil? And just think about it. If Satan was operating on his own free will, why he just didn't, Lord, God ain't got to answer you. Man, I can do what the hell I want to. Why he just didn't say that? This is showing you that, guess what? Even Satan is in order with the Most High. The Most High God uses Satan to do what? To tempt men on the earth, to do what? To get them to, guess what? Not walk in his commandments, and to see if brothers and sisters give in to their particular lust or their particular sin. This is another proof showing you that he doesn't do what he wants. Let's jump down. This is the book of Job, chapter 2 and verse 3. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, and that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feared God and eschewed evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. Verse 4, coming up on the point, and Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man have will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. So Satan and the Most High having a conversation. Satan is telling the Most High God, well, yeah, God, you, guess what? You give him everything that he wants. So why wouldn't he serve you and worship you? He's saying, but start to take those things away and see if he still holds his integrity. See if he'll still worship you. Verse 5, verse 6. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So wait a minute. The Most High God is giving Satan orders because he's what? He's the God of all living things. He's the God of gods. He's telling Satan, guess what? You can jack him up, but don't kill him. Now, why didn't Satan tell God, nah, I'm going to kill this nigga? No, because guess what? He doesn't act individually. All orders come down from the Most High God. All orders. Soldier Ezra says, the book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse 22, accept no persons against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall. That's a great precept, a great precept. Now, Freemasonry is going into things that's not grounded in the Bible. You know, don't just make accusations against us because y'all don't like that we teach the truth about the Bible. You know, how do you have any proof that any of us are Freemasons? I mean, come on, man. This is childish. Shalom, Officer Barakaya. Shalom, Samitra, Sister Samitra Young. How you doing, sis? Says, my family tried me on the Sabbath. I remain adamant. That's right, Art. That's how you got to. Most High God will use them to see if brothers and sisters are sincere in this truth. So you will be used. Family will be used against you, man. You know, a man's foal is they of his own household, man. Let's get that. Go to the book of Jonah. It's constantly throughout the scriptures, man. Even with Christ, the account of Christ and his mother. We'll kind of touch on that as well. Even like I brought out in the book of Matthew, chapter 12. Go to the book of Jonah. Is that wrong? I want the book of Micah, Salaki, brothers and sisters. This is the book of Micah, chapter 7 and verse 6. And it reads, for the son dishonoreth the father, and the daughter riseth up against the mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies are they of his own household. So a lot of times that first persecution or adversity is going to come from your family. You may have a husband that's walking in the truth and his wife is not in the truth. You may have a wife that's in the truth and her husband is not in the truth. You may have the children that's only in the truth and the parents are not, man. Because the Most High God is raising up younger generation as well, man. Because guess what? It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, man. So Most High God got a lot of young people waking up. That doesn't mean that older generation is not waking up as well, but that's where that first opposition is going to come from your household. So those are good precepts, like Soldier Ezra put in there, like how we read in the book of Sirach, chapter 33, Micah, chapter 7 and verse 6. These are precepts to meditate on to get you ready and your spirit prepared to deal with those things if you are new to this truth. Yeah, that's right, Sister Nacut. He says he's still bringing judgment on his children today. Shalom, Soldier Donovan. Shalom, Mark. Shalom, Captain Yari. How you doing, Ak? Shalom, Sister DeBoer, Sister Yael. Congratulations to Sister Yael graduating from college. All praise to the Most High. It's a great, great thing, man. Something you should be proud of. Like how we tell brothers and sisters, we use that education and that knowledge for the betterment of our nation of people, just like these other nations do. We want to take it a step forward. Brother Dexter Khan in his commemoration written in the book of Lamentations to honor Josiah so that he shows he was indeed a good king. All praise. Give me that precept right quick, Brother Dexter. Shalom, Brother Balai, Yasharala, Shalom. Yeah, that's right. It is the spirit. Yeah, because Soldier Donner, we were just kind of going over that Friday night after his class. So that is the spirit. That is the spirit, man. That's a good precept. I kind of wanted to. I forgot to bring that out in Captain Yari's class yesterday, because it went into a great precept for Ox great class yesterday, man. Don't stop putting your hand to the plow, man. Meaning, keep doing this work, and we need Most High God gives an ox as a similitude, comparing it to us. That's what our job is, comparing to what Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3. Let's get there right quick, man. And that is the precept, showing that the Most High God do compare us to an ox and an ass, a stubborn and a dumb animal, man. Because guess what? Our people don't want to do this work, man, and it makes us rebellious. And if you don't have oxen plowing the ground, then get what? You won't have an increase of fruit. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel did not know. My people did not consider. And we don't consider that we're God's chosen people and that he uses us to do what? To do his will and to, guess what? Enforce his laws on the earth. So when we're not putting in the work and plowing this ground and guess what? Not sowing the fruits, guess what? We don't reap those things, man. The law is compared to the fruits. And guess what? That's why you see this earth all out of whack, man, and all out of course. No fruits. It's a dry, waterless desert, a wilderness out here, man, because there's no vegetation. Everything is totally out of order, man. Because guess what? We're not doing our jobs as a nation of people, man. And that's why the curses is poured upon us. Shalom, Sister Genesis. Shalom, Sister Sapphire. It said, sisters asked Captain, I do Proverbs 8 and 32. Let's get there right quick. Go to Proverbs 8 and 32. Remember, Proverbs chapter 8 is going into Christ, basically, in the similitude manifold. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 22 on down. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 8, verse 32, and it reads, Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Yes, that is a perfect precept for that, sis. Is that the one I want? I'm thinking about Matthew's. Let me read it right quick, sister, before I jump the gun. 11 and 28. I'm thinking of something else, 10 and 28. This is the book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse 28, and it reads, But he said, Yea, rather blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. Yes, that's a perfect precept. So, brothers and sisters, y'all make sure y'all write that down. Proverbs 8:32 does precept with Luke chapter 11 and verse 28. That's a great precept. Sis. Brother Dexter says the family tree on Biblehood denoting the kings and what time their reigns is very accurate, family. That's right. And brothers and sisters, y'all want to make sure that y'all do get those books. I left my book at the house. Showing the timeline. I have a great book that Captain Jeremiah had got for the captains. It's a great history book. Great. Shalom, London, Bunyamin. Shalom, Wikipedia is obvious. Shalom Twins says, Twins, I have an Issachar brother in here from work. He thinking about going into Christianity from going into Christianity from Catholicism. No, brother, don't do either of them. Can you go over a few things for him? Well, first of all, like how we tell brothers and sisters, Christianity is basically white supremacy. Guess what? Catholicism is too. Catholicism is a religion that the so-called Spaniards brought over here of the conquest of the Americas in 1492. And guess what? Later on, they brought Christianity as well. So those are two white supremacy religion. And like how we tell brothers and sisters, God never gave us religion. He only gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. Let's get that in the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. And first of all, we tell our brother, who he is according to the scripture, that he would not be a Mexican American. Mexican comes from Spaniards, a byword and a proverb. The Most High God calls y'all of the tribe of Issachar. Let's get Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of Baruch chapter 4, verse 1, showing our people that God did not give us religion. He only gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. And that is one of the biggest religions that, guess what, that idolizes the Virgin Mary. Nowhere in the scripture does it tells you to bow down to the Virgin Mary. And she damn sure wasn't white. This is the book of Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Meaning when you keep these commandments, you get the kingdom. But when you break these commandments, you get destruction and damnation. So God did not give us religion, brother Issachar. And it's a lot that you have to learn that we can't go over all even in a couple of hours. It's a lot that you learn. I would tell brothers to keep watching the classes, give them the captain's number if he have any other questions outside of the feed now, or if he have any today, tell them to ask away. But we teach that the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people. And the reason why we suffer as a nation of people is because we break God's commandments. Even by having these bywords and proverbs as nationalities is going off. It says Yashar Yehuda. What do you think about King Jehu of the Northern Kings? Says that he did well. Well, we kind of touch over there. He did well at the beginning, but even he went off. After the Most High God gave him that order to slay the rest of Ahab's lineage, the rest of his sons, we see that he went off, So he had a zeal for a great while. But guess what? He didn't have that zeal until the end. And that's what brothers and sisters must have. You got to have that zeal until the end, man. Not wavering at all. It says 2 Kings chapter 10 and verse 30. Yeah, I just touched on this in my Sabbath class last week, so kind of familiar with it. This is the book of 2 Kings chapter 10 and verse 30. Yeah, so we see where the Most High God blessed him, but if you keep reading down, you'll see where the Most High God judged him. This is the book of 2 Kings chapter 10 and verse 30, and it reads, And the Lord said unto Jehu, Because thou hast done well in executing that which is right in mine eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab according to all that was in my heart, thy children from the fourth generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. So the Most High God promised that his generation from the fourth generation would reign as kings. Verse 32, verse 31, but Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of the Lord God of Israel with all his heart, and he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which he had made Israel to sin. In those days, the Lord began to cut Israel short, and Hazael smote them in the coast of Israel. Hazael was a king that ruled over Syria, if I'm not mistaken. So we see that, guess what? The Most High God blessed him, but immediately after the Most High God blessed him, he started to go off, you know. Sister Genesis said, Numbers chapter 20 and verse 12, Numbers 20 and 24. How did Moses and Aaron not believe when they did as they were commanded by the Lord to bring water out of the rock? Remember, they did it, but Moses basically made it, he said, us. And he put himself with the Lord. And that's something that we should never do. When the Most High God is giving us blessings, it's solely coming from his power. We had nothing to do with it, for lack of better words. But let's cover that. So that was the problem that he did. He said us instead of giving all honor and praises, like we say in our prayer, to the Most High. Because everything that we do is only and because of the Most High. And we can never go far enough, like how brothers pulled in the book of Sirach. We're going to get there too. Let's go to the book of Numbers. So yeah, he did everything right except that one little issue. That one little issue can cost brothers and sisters their lives, man. You know, that can cost you, man. That's why we tell brothers and sisters, hey, be on top of things, man. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 20 and verse 12. I'm gonna start at verse 11. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore shall ye not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. So we see, let's jump up some more to verse 7. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 20 and verse 7. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod and gather the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth this water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So shalt thou give the congregation and their beast drink. And the Moses took the rock from before the Lord as he had commanded. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, Hear ye now, ye rebels. This is the point, Sister Genesis. Must we fetch water out of this rock? No, because ultimately that power came from who? From the Most High. He put himself with the Most High, and that was something that Moses shouldn't have done. Moses did great things, and I understand adversity coming from nagging nation and millions upon people, but that lets us know that we still have to stay in the spirit and still give all honor and praises to the Most High and never put ourselves equal with the Most High. So that's the point right there, sis. It says, must we fetch you water out of this rock? Never put ourselves with the Most High. He is on a total different level. Jump down to verse 24. Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given unto the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Meaning the Most High God said that I did it. And that's the point. They put themselves with the Most High. Shalom, shalom. So that's right, but took no heed. I put it in there. My mom got mad at me for not wishing her happy Mother's Day. Oh, well, tell her you still love her. No, thanks, brother Lyndon Bunyamin. Shalom. Jeroboam, that's right. Eli, all them kings was wicked as hell. Soldier Donovan, Psalms 106 and 32. They angered him also at the waters of strife, so that it went ill with Moses for their sakes, because they provoked his spirit. So they spake with unadvisedly with his lips. That's right. You know. It says, I know you was asking why, Cap. Will you break it down? Just a precept to show what they did. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you do precept Psalms 106 with that Like how we was kind of, I don't know if I got, but I'm after you, Ox. So I think I did answer. It says, was there ever a queen who ruled over Israel for a time period, but the Most High God killed her ass? Just to let you know. So give me some feedback, Soldier Donovan. That's what you're talking about when we broke it down. The point is in Numbers chapter 20 and verse 10, at the end of verse 10, though. Yes, so we do have where we had a sister tried to rule over Israel with her younger son. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was Josiah's. No, it was somebody else. Let me think about it. Got a brother in the chat. Try to find it real quick for me. I can't. I know it was, but the Most High God killed her. I know it's in this child. It's somewhere on this house. Brother could find it for me. Or sister, whoever know what I'm talking about. Put the thing in the chat. I can't think of it real quick. Took Samaria. Real bones, but so reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, did that shoes. Provoked them. It was damn, his mother was young. Somebody find that for me real quick. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, you know I checked it out a little bit out. You know I checked the video out, brother Dexter. Shalom, sister Carla Taylor. How you doing, sis? Shalom, glad to see you in there. Somebody find that precept for me, man. Shalom like no other. 144K. Shalom, Mama Mariah. How you doing? Thula, thanks, Mama Mariah. Thank you, sis. Well, it said it, but the Most High God killed her. You know. Who got that precept? Athelia. I got it somewhere. I just can't think of where it is real quick. And I wasn't trying to look it up. Who got the precept? Well, yeah, they were vegetarians, Brother Yeshua Yehuda. But then the Most High God instituted the law of meat. So he gave us to where we can eat meat. Even the animals were vegetarians. Somebody find the precept for me. Is that it? I thought I just looked at 2 Kings 11. Yes, that is it. Yes, all praise, Brother Dexter. Dexter, in the spirit. This is the book of 2 Kings. I'm going to have to write that down. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 11 and verse 1. And when Athaliah, the mother of Ahazah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the seed royal. So we see to where she did what? Tried to kill off all the males and the lineages so she could basically rule. But the Most High God ended up killing her behind. Verse 2. But Jehoshaphat, the daughter of King Joram, sister of Ahazah, took Josiah, the son of Ahazah, and stole him from among the king's sons, which were slain, and they did hid him, even him and his nurse, in the bedchamber from Athaliah, so that he was not slain. So this was going into what I was talking about, but I thought she was the mother of Josiah. So, but this was the king before him, and she was trying to kill all of them so it wouldn't be anyone to reign, so she basically could have that power. But according to our laws and our traditions, no. So she tried to take control, but it didn't last very long as well. Let me see. Let me jump down. This is the point, verse 3. And he was with her hid in the house of the Lord 6 years. And Athaliah did reign over the land. So she reigned for a time period. But then eventually the Most High God had her butt put to death, man. Let me see. Yes, we jump down to verse 20 and get into the point. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 11 and verse 20. And all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was quiet. And they slew Athaliah with the sword beside the king's house. So we see ultimately the Most High God put her to death because sister was wicked as hell and she was trying to assert authority. So all praise God. Jeremiah 44 verse 15, Queen of Heaven could. That's right. That's a great precept. I'm glad that you brought that out. Let's get that. Because our people still do that. Make cakes to the Queen of Heaven even to this day. Like Captain Yarris to this day. Him and Captain Drill Ball, man. Them brothers the brothers is crazy. That one I want 44, 19. Oh, burn incense to the Queen of Heaven. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 44 and verse 18. Let's start at verse 17. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing that goeth forth out of our own mouth to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her as we have done. And that's what our people do when they celebrating Mother's Day. You're basically pouring out, guess what, worship and honor to the Queen of Heaven. When you don't read about that in the scriptures, man, these are just idols that our people have been worshiping since ancient times, man. It says, and our fathers and our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then we had plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil. So they think when our people are doing these things that that's how they get blessings. And that's what our people think today. When mama is going out and you filling up Ferris cafeteria and all these Red Lobsters and these places that these sisters love to go, they think that that's a righteous thing that they're doing. Oh, my kids love me by doing it. No, that thing is wicked. Like twins say, wicked. Because guess what? You're honoring and putting her over the Most High God. It may not seem like it, but by default, when you're not keeping these commandments and walking in the manners of the other nations, that is what you are doing. You're literally breaking the first commandment, putting another God over the Most High. Verse 18. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her. Because what did our people do? We have to learn to see these things today. They give a toast to their mother. You know, that's basically pouring out a drink offering, man. You're giving that toast to honor their mother on Mother's Day. It says, and poured out drink offerings unto her. Did we make her cakes to worship her and pour out drink offerings unto her without men? That thing is heavy. That's a great precept, Soldier Donovan Poole, man. Shalom, Carmen Roberts. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, Soldier Renard says, my daddy's girlfriend is cooking today at our house. She know I don't celebrate or eat certain foods, but I left so I wouldn't be in sin by eating what she... That's right, you know, abstain from all appearance of evil. You know, and that's a good thing. Sometimes you do. That's what you have to do. You have to abstain from all appearance of evil, man. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 22, and it reads, abstain from all appearance of evil. So that's something like you say, you know, they're getting down at the house and doing it. Sometimes it's just best that brothers get away from those things, man. Go away, get you a little time to yourself, you know, hook up with some brothers that are in the truth, you know, go over some scriptures, you know, and just come back at a decent hour when they done partying and doing all that stuff. She said, all praise to the most, all praises. Hold on one second. Timothy B, could you briefly go over about the book of Jasher if the scriptures mention it? Well, it's not that it's not one, but we don't know that it's the one that we have today. Now, the scriptures definitely mention it, but remember, Brother Timothy B, we have what we need to make it to the kingdom. I guarantee if the book of Jasher is relevant, Christ will teach us, Lord's will, we make it to the kingdom of heaven. So the Bible definitely quotes or mentions the book of Jasher, but that doesn't mean that we should just automatically run to it. The Bible mentions the wars of Canaan. We shouldn't be breaking our necks trying to find out the wars of Canaan, because I'm going to tell you, those books do what? Take you away from the Bible. And the Bible is what you need to make it to the kingdom, not those books. I guarantee if we needed the book of Jasher, the Most High God would have had it in his books. And brothers and sisters tend to forget that. Just like the Apocrypha, meaning hidden books, it was taken away from us, but we got it back. The Most High God blessed that thing to literally be in the scriptures. So I guarantee if the Most High God needed it to be in the Bible, it would be in the Bible. But the Bible definitely mentions the book of Joshua. Let's go to the book of Joshua. So it mentions it, but does that mean that we should run to find a book of Joshua? This is the book of Joshua, chapter 10 and verse 13. Going into the account where Joshua prayed to the Most High God that he will make the sun stay up for a full 24 hours so they could try to kill as many Canaanites as they possibly could. Because y'all know once that sun set, Ham be blacker than 1,000 midnights. This is the book of Joshua, chapter 10 and verse 13. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Joshua? So they do have this account of where the Most High God basically created a miracle on the earth. And so the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day. So just because it mentions it, should we break our necks trying to find it? No, we should. We have what we have. And this is why the Most High God put this in the scriptures. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end. And much study, meaning much study of these books outside of the Bible, is a weariness of the flesh. Because all those books are made to do is to take us away from the Bible, brothers. Don't be caught up in Esau's distraction because they claim, oh, you get more knowledge, brother. Oh, it's more knowledge than the Bible. Hey, it was books written before the Bible, and that may be so, but this is the only book of life. That's the point. Shalom done Israel says, Jeremiah 8 and 7, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times, and the turtle and the crane and the swallow observe the time of their coming. That's right. But my people know not the judgment of the Lord. That's a great precept as well. Shalom, Sister Danielle. No, Brother Lyndon Bunyamin putting other great precepts in. Make sure brothers and sisters write those precepts down. I'm putting great precepts up in there, man, for brothers and sisters to read over if you want to understand more about righteous kings of the northern and southern tribe. Shalom, Sister Danielle. How you doing, sis? Yashar Yehuda. There were 8 documented good kings of Judah: Asa, Jehoshaphat, Hezekiah, David, Josiah, Amaziah, Uzziah, Joash. All praise God. I got them written down in my book. Good king, bad king. It says, question, if I may, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, 16, 23, and 31. Let's get it right quick. No, Sister Sapphire asked for a question. Shalom, Brother Damien. How you doing now? Yes, you may, sis. You can ask any question. Questions are open. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 16, and it reads, but if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of God. So we know a lot of times brothers pull this and they bring it down. Like we said, I understand that going into like the head coverings being as a custom. And he was saying if there is no such custom, we have no order, but be it that may, we still stand at us not doing anything to bring shame to our God, to the Most High, to Christ. So I'm going to jump up. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 4. It says, every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. And we understand where brothers come from, but it's still the fact that we don't want to make ourselves dishonor Christ in no means. We want to try to keep the laws to the best of our ability, man. To the best, man. So we observe that. We jumping down. This is basically going into the head covering, why men shouldn't cover their heads and why women should cover their heads, because they're honoring their husband. Let me jump up. Verse 16, it says, but if any man seem to be contentious, meaning if you have a problem with it, because some brothers don't see it that way. Some brothers may not see that way. Some brothers do see it that way. So that's why the scriptures tells us, if it bears witness with your spirit, get with those particular brothers. Brothers that it don't bear witness with, hey, that's why the Most High God has many different camps up here, to where their level of understanding is to where a head covering, hey, gather with those brothers that do that. If your particular spirit is not to where and it bears witness with us, you have camps out there for that. This is what this is going into. If it's just going to be that contentious, because it's many camps out here, and Each camp teach something different. One of the main things that we do mostly stand on is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites, and that we must keep God's commandments. Verse 17. Now in this that I declare unto you, I praise you not that ye come together, not for the better, but for the worse. And this is Paul's just giving them understanding on how to, guess what, hold the congregation and how to set things in order in the church of Corinth. You said 11 through 16? Did you want 11 through 16, sis? I'll start up at verse 11. Verse 11, nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. Meaning what? We need each other in this truth. Because guess what? Men plant seed in a woman to, guess what, bring forth our nation on a mass production. So we need each other because guess what? Man, women, guess what? We make a nation of people. We make a nation of people. So we do need each other. Referencing verse 11, verse 12. As the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman. But all things of God. And it's just reiterating these things, meaning we need each other in this thing. But it's a respected role. That's what it means, as in the Lord. Meaning man has his role. The man's role is to be the leader, protector, provider. The woman's role is to be submissive unto her husband, to, guess what, to be keepers at home if you can afford to, guide the children, teach the younger children. That's the role of the man and the woman. And a lot of times in this society, they put the woman over the man, and they're deliberately trying to set things out of order. Might they be? They don't do their own nation of people like that. They don't force that on our people, but they know our people have been destroyed for generations. So we're more susceptible to follow behind them. Verse 13. Judge in yourselves as it is comely that a woman pray unto God uncovered. So we see in this, I know many times sisters that don't agree with praying with your head covered. But you remember, when you jump up, you have to go back and forth. Precept must be upon precept. So we jump back up. Verse 5. But every woman that prayed or prophesied with her head uncovered dishonored her head. So if you have a husband and he's your head and he's telling you, like how the scriptures is saying, guess what? You want to honor your head. Not only is you honoring your head, which is your husband, but you also are honoring his head, which is Christ. That's just the order. And that's a part of being what? Shamefaced, being covered up, having things done in decency and in order and modestly, man. Let's jump back down. Verse 14. Doth not even nature teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? Meaning, not that a man cannot have long hair, but in this time, and in this time today, you see brothers with the long hair that wear it in an effeminate way. There's nothing wrong with brothers, because our people had braids. Our people had long hair. We have the account of Samson. He had long hair, but he wasn't wearing it in a girly type way. Because you wearing it in a girly or effeminate type way puts a what? Effeminate spirit on you. This is all that this is going into, the customs that Paul was setting in order for the church of Corinth. Because you have to understand, many of our people were in a Gentile state of mind. And it's many like our people today. Like if we tell a brother wearing his hair in a girly way, hey, brother, take that down, brother. Wear it in a manly type way. It's not that men cannot have long hair, even though I know certain camps do teach that, but we don't see in the scriptures that they can't. Verse 15. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. So a lot of times you may have sisters that try to use this to say, well, my hair is for a covering. Well, what if a sister is bald? Does that mean that she don't have to cover her hair? No, that still doesn't offset what verse 5 is going into. Yes, the Most High God is giving y'all hair for a glory. That is y'all glory. Nothing makes you feel more womanly than to have long hair. But y'all wear y'all hair in a what? In a girly type way. That sets the difference between men and women. You have a brother wearing his hair in a girly type way, that's going off. Verse 16. It says, but if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of God. Meaning, if you have a problem with these things, problem with you, what, covering your hair, like I just reiterated. Guess what? It's a camp out there for you that does that. You know, it is a camp out there that does that, man. So guess what? The Spirit bears witness, man. Get with a camp that this scripture bears witness with how you understand it. You said 23 through 31. Jump down to verse 23. It says, "For I have received of the Lord that which I also delivered unto you, that the Lord, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread." So we use this to do what? To break the bread. You know, at the end of our classes, we break bread with Christ, with the congregation, and we do this as a vow that we'll what? Strive to keep God's law, statutes, and commandments. So this is what this is going into. Verse 24. "And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, Take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me." So during Passover, after the Passover, we break bread. Well, we have the little crackers, the wine, and we drink, break bread. And we do that in remembrance of Christ as a vow and as a oath that we'll diligently try to keep the commandments to the best of our ability. Verse 25. "After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come." Meaning what? We're putting forth, like I said, as an oath that guess what? We're going to diligently keep the commandments. Verse 27. "Wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and the blood of the Lord." Meaning, if you partaking in the breaking of the bread and you're not sincere about keeping the commandments, you will, guess what, be judged for those things, man. That is something that is very, very important, man. Very important. Meaning what? This is something that we're taking very, very seriously. So if you know that your spirit is not right, we tell brothers and sisters, don't take it. You know, you feel like you dealing with some things, don't take it. But eventually, it's what? Get your spirit right so that you can partake in this, man, eventually. "For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore whosoever shall eat of this bread and drink of this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and the blood of the Lord." Verse 28. "But let a man examine himself. So let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup." You want to make sure that you constantly do what? Take self-examination, brothers and sisters. You want to make sure that you're diligently walking in the truth for the right reasons, not doing it for your husbands not doing it for your wives, and vice versa. You want to make sure that you're solely doing it for the Lord and to keep the commandments, and that is the right thing to do. It says, "For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily," meaning if you know you are in sin and you partaking in this, it's judgments for those things. "Eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep." Meaning what? When you partake in this unworthily, it's judgments to be had, man. So this is just going into the breaking of the bread. It says, verse 31, "For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the works." Meaning we have to understand that when we partake and keep and decide that we want to walk in these commandments, guess what? It's judgments to be had behind those things, man. Whether it's good judgments or whether it's bad judgments. So this is going into breaking of the bread and going into the head covering. It says Yashar Yehuda. Does anyone remember that precept in the Apocrypha that says that there were two good kings? Any brother or sister remember that? Done Israel. Romans chapter 7, verse 1. That's right. "Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law." That's right. Basic instructions before leaving earth. Yeah, I know a lot of times they use that acronym. Shalom, can I get an understanding in Jeremiah 8? You just put that in the chat. Someone just put that in the chat. It says, yeah, that's something that we do Sabbathly, Sister Sapphire. So yes, we see that and we partake in the communion, but Christians don't keep the commandments like that. They're not diligently taking the commandments. Remember, they have certain aspects, certain small aspects. I'll put it to you that way. But yes, this is what we would know as communion. So we know some congregations agree with it, some congregations don't. We see that in the scriptures. So that's something that we do partake in every Sabbath, sis. Jeremiah 8:5. But it's unlike Christianity, because guess what? We're striving to keep the commandments. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 8 and verse 5, and it reads, "Why then is this people of Jerusalem slidden back by perpetual backsliding? They hold fast deceit and they refuse to return." This is the Most High God sending the prophet Jeremiah to prophesy to Israel, to get back in order. And if they don't, then eventually he sent the Babylonians against them. It says, verse 6, "I hearkened and heard, but they spake not aright. No man repented him of his wickedness, saying, What have I done? Everyone turned to his course as the horse rusheth into the battle." Meaning our people wasn't repenting as a nation of people. Verse 7, "Yea, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times, and the turtle and the crane and the swallow observe the time of their coming. But my people know not the judgment of the Lord." Meaning even the animals are in order. The animals are total in order, but us having a higher understanding, we are not in order as God's chosen people. Verse 8, "How do you say we are wise, and the law of the Lord is with us? Lo, certainly in vain may he it. The pen of the scribes is in vain." Meaning what? We have the law, but we lack the understanding to do what? To properly apply. How in the hell can we brag that we have the law when we're not even doing it? This is a heavy scriptures. Verse 9, "The wise men are ashamed, and they are dismayed, and take it. Lo, they have rejected the word of the Lord, and what wisdom is in them." And this is the Most High God basically going in on us, man, because we're God's chosen people. We have the law, but we're not properly applying it. We're not repenting as a nation of people. That's why we force the Most High God's hand to do what? Put the curses on us. Verse 11, "For they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, Peace, peace, when there is no peace." Meaning when our people are in an uproar, they uses the pastors to calm the people down or to make us docile. When guess what? We should be crying aloud. But we have to understand that these mistakes are brought on by ourselves and by us not keeping the commandments. Verse 12, it says, "Were they ashamed when they had committed abominations? Nay, they were not at all ashamed, neither could they blush, because they shall fall among them that fall. In the time of their visitations, they shall be cast down, saith the Lord." So this is the Most High God eventually using Jeremiah the prophet to get our people to understand and consider their ways. And if they don't, that's eventually why he brought the Babylonians against them. So Sapphire, so yes, that's something that we do. We do take communion in our congregation, sis. Sister Mitra, Captain Benaniah, I have a question. Was the war in heaven with Christ and Lucifer, what that a metaphor, or was it literal? Now, what this is talking about, sis, what precept is you talking about? Because what I'm thinking about is Revelation chapter 12, sis. Because we know, like you said, it's not literal. Lucifer is basically going into the so-called white man. And when it talks about a war in heaven, it's going into the war that's going to be played out on the earth. Remember, heaven can be meant as rulership on the planet earth. It's 4 different types of heaven that the Bible describes. Where God dwells, which is the third heaven, is considered heaven. Space considered heaven. The sky is considered heaven. And rulership over the planet earth is considered heaven. So you want to make sure you understand what heaven, the heaven that is talking about by process of elimination. We know ain't nobody going in the third heavens fighting with God. In space or in the sky, that heaven that is talking about is talking about war on the planet Earth, over rulership over the planet Earth. And that's basically Christ at war with the so-called Edomite nations, because they rule the earth. This is their heaven. You understand that, sis? Give me some feedback if we need to go deeper into it. Shalom, family, Hebrews and Shebrews, hit the like button. That's right, sis. Our leadership needs us all to do everything we can to help spread the truth. That's right, Moses the messenger. All praise out the spirit. It's been a while. I found it, Lamentations chapter 4, verse 20. I've been looking for that precept. Oh, praise God. He was going into Lamentations. I had them written it out for Josiah. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 20. Is that one? It says, the breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, whom we did say, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Is that what you wanted out? Give me some feedback on that. That's right. All praise, Officer Yaakov. Kind of been now. Was the war in heaven with Christ and Lucifer? Was it a metaphor? Was it literal? Yeah, give me some feedback, sis, to make sure I answer that question. Yeah, Con, I was just giving a precept so she could add it. I know you was going to break it down. Okay, all praise. I better read what happened to Miriam. That's right. Exodus chapter 12. Now, I know what you meant. 2 Kings chapter 11, verse 1. Thanks, Ock. 2 Kings. Philemon 3 and 18. Can you give me understanding to the cross of Christ? Let's get there right quick. The cross of Christ, if I'm not mistaken, is basically the burden, meaning it can be or take up his walk, meaning that walking to death, if I'm not mistaken. I'm thinking about the one in Matthews where it says, bear ye your cross. Meaning some of our people don't have to be put to death in this truth. 3 and 18 says, this is the book of Philippians. You want Philippians or Philemon? This is the book of Philippians chapter 3 and verse 18, and it reads, for many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, Salakia, that they are enemies of the cross of Christ. So that's a good question, sis. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to start at verse 17. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 3 and verse 17. Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have had us for an example, meaning write and record brothers and sisters that are doing well and are following our examples. Christ, Paul's example, and the disciples. So we can have that as a record and as an example. Verse 18. For many walk. So you may have brothers and sisters in the truth, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Christ. Meaning what? You have brothers and sisters that walk contrary to the truth. They may come into this walk a little bit and they won't. Meaning what? They'll walk in this truth that Christ represents what? The death of Christ. Meaning what? Some of our people may be put to death. But this is what Paul is explaining. And all praise to the Most High, man. Brothers and sisters may walk in this truth until it's time to put your life on the line, man. Many brothers say, yeah, shalom, bro. But when it's time for you to guess what, see whether or not you're going to take that pork or die, you may have some brothers or sisters that take that pork. This is how you become an enemy to the cross of Christ, man. Meaning you're not willing to put your life on the line like Christ put his life on the line. You know, and that's going to be a judgment for brothers and sisters. That's where the rubber meets the road in this truth. Because some of us may be put to death, man. Like how we read in the book of Revelation, chapter 3. You know, some of us may have to suffer persecution. Some of us may be martyrdom, you know. But is you going to take up that burden unto the end? Are you going to be faithful unto Christ, man, unto the end, man? Meaning even putting your life on the line. Think about it. Many of the disciples were put to death in horrible ways, man. You know, so this is something, like he said, this is going into. Let me think of that precept. That's a good question, Sister Genesis, man. Great question. Because some of our people going to surely have to drink of that cup. Like the woman that came there and asked, could her sons be in heaven? Trying to find that precept right quick. No, that's not what I want. Let me see if this is what I want in Matthews. We can find that precept for me. Ye shall surely drink. What a woman asked, could her sons come into heaven with Christ? And he asked them, are they going to be ready to drink? Is that what I want? Oh, yes, that's what I want. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 20 and verse. Yes, I'm going to start at verse 21. I'm going to start at verse 22. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 20 and verse 20. Then came the mother of him came to him the mother of Zebedee children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. You know, this is going into the sons of thunder. It says, and he said unto her, what wilt thou? He's asking, you know, what you want. She said unto him, grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on thy right hand and the other on thy left, in thy kingdom. So she's asking, you know, can you please have my son sit with you in the kingdom of heaven? Let's see what Christ said. But Yahushua answered and said, ye know not what ye ask. Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of? What was that cup that Christ had to drink of? His death, burial, and resurrection. He had to die for us. And he's asking her, I don't think she didn't understand, because he said, you know not what you ask. And that's something that brothers and sisters got to understand too. You being in this truth mean that, guess what? You could eventually be put to death in this truth, man. You know, is brothers and sisters ready to go that far? You know, that's something that you have to contemplate, man. It says, are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They say unto him, we are able. So they said that, guess what? They will be able to do those things, man. And this is something that, guess what, is posed to brothers and sisters. Are you in the truth? Just because we haven't looked good times here and there, think about when Jacob's trouble spring hard on the earth, man. Are you going to fold them, or are you going to hold them? Verse 23, and he said unto them, ye shall drink indeed of my cup and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. So that's some heavy stuff, meaning what? Are you willing to endure in this truth unto death? Shalom, Shalisha Bell. How you doing, sis? Leadership, are you able to set up super chat for members and donations? Yeah, I need to get that. I'm thinking you're in the spirit. Moses the messenger. I got to get that done. Joshua 1 mentions it in the book of Jubilee, is mentioned in the Bible. That's right. I just thought of so. You put it in the chat, Soldier Donald. What you talking about? I remember GMS did a video on me just because I read that in the Bible. Yeah, we love our brothers, man. There's some hard brothers, man. All praises, man. But you know, they got to understand it's different doctrines. And it's not that they shouldn't rebuke brothers. You know, we kind of understand. Like I said, it's just different doctrines. You know, it says, man, Cap, I just thought of something. If it was super relevant, Christ would have quoted it like he did in the Old Testament and the Apocrypha. What you mean? Tell me what you mean, Soldier Donald. Londo Charisma, Matthews 27:52. Can you explain what happened to those people? Did they live? Yes, they lived again. This is a question that Soldier Donovan was talking to me about, that you asked him on his live, Brother Lando. Yes, they lived again. Remember, the point is, Christ raised up many people from the dead. You know, think about it. This is just the same account, just on a much more bigger scale, because that's just showing you the power of Yahweh, how that power was emanating over that particular area. And not only did it wake up Christ, but it woke up other spirits as well too. So it's similar to how he rose up Lazarus from the dead, how he rose up Dorcas, how they rose up Peter, rose up Dorcas from the dead. That goes into that same account, Brother Lando. So let's get there right quick. Let's go to Matthew chapter 27. Yes, they lived again. Matthew chapter 27. That's just, remember, those are the many miracles of what Christ did. This is the book of Matthew chapter 27 and verse 52. And it reads, and the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. So we see that. So even in that, this is a precept. It's going to be on a grander scale too. This is going to happen again, Brother Orlando. That's why precept must be upon precept. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 15. Make sure you write this down and follow with me, Brother Lando. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse, what do I say? 15. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. Meaning what? The people that are dead in the graves, guess what? That doesn't mean anything. The Most High God has power to raise them back up. The people that are alive is not going to prevent the people that are dead. This is what he is saying, verse 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Meaning what? The people that died in this truth, keeping the commandments, they're going to be the first ones taken up in the chariots. It's similar to what we are reading in the book of Matthew, and this is a precept and an example that brothers and sisters can write down. Let's go back. The book of Matthew, chapter 27 and verse 52. And the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, meaning they were brought back up from the dead. This is not a new thing, Brother Lando. Remember, Christ healed and brought many people back from the dead, man. Christ did so many miracles that the scriptures could not contain all the miracles that he did. They just gave the most prevalent ones. Verse 53. And came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. So we see that, guess what? They was just brought back to life. And we see these on many accounts. Let's go to the book of I want the account in John chapter 2. That's what I want. So we see many people, man. Many people were healed and brought back up. Is that what I want? Chapter 2, Capernaum, no, Jerusalem, Jesus, New all things, kept in except believe. Salvation, from heaven, sin, I believe. Let me go to the book of Luke, chapter 17. While I try to find it right quick. Or 16. So yeah, that's why we have the parable of Lazarus. This is the book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 22. The book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 22. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. So this is a parable going into Lazarus, how he was, guess what, died, but eventually, guess what, he was resurrected by Christ. I want that account though. So we see many people that were raised from the dead. John 11. John chapter 11, real quick. This is the book of John, chapter 11 and verse 1. Now a certain man was sick named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Mary. And it was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, whom thou lovest is sick, because he loved Lazarus. When Yahushua heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. So, meaning the Most High God was basically going to use Christ to work a miracle to show his power and to show brothers and sisters that Christ was the Christ. Verse 5. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that said to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. So Christ purposely did that, just so he could raise them back up again. Verse 8, his disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou hither again? Yahushua answered, are not there 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. Let me jump down, verse 11. These things said he, and after that he said unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. Sleep is Hebrew talk for what? He was dead. Verse 12, then his disciple says, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Meaning if he's dead, just let him rest. You do well when you're rested, because you're free from all the troubles of the world. You at peace. Verse 13, howbeit Yahushua spake of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking of rest in sleep. So they didn't truly understand that he was dead. Verse 14. Then said Yahushua unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead. He had to speak plainly to him. Verse 15. And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, let us also go, that we may die with him. Then, when Yahushua came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. So Lazarus was dead 4 days. Verse 19. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahushua was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Yahushua, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, that whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Yahushua said unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Verse 24, Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. So they understood about the resurrection of the dead. Verse 25, Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection. Hold on. Y'all forgive me. This old Bible, boy. Got some wearing church. Let us just mark that verse 25. Verse 25, Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? She said unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which shall come into the world. And when he had so said, she went away and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, the master is come and calleth for thee. As soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him. Now Yahushua was not yet come into the town, but he was in that place that Martha met him. The Jews in which that was with her at the house comforted her, and saw Mary, that she rose up hastily and went out, followed her, saying, she goeth to the grave to weep. Let me get to the point. Verse 38. Yahushua therefore again groaning in himself, coming to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Yahushua say, take away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he had been dead 4 days. Yahushua said unto her, say not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of God. Jump down. Jump down to verse 43 to get to the point. And when he had thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Yahushua said unto them, loose him and let him go. So we see where Christ literally rose up Lazarus. So yes, those people were literally resurrected, Brother Lando. That was a long list spiel. I wish I could have just got to the point that Isaiah 34:16, that's right. Hey, you know, we still gonna deal with them too, Brother Dexter. Both doing Old Testament quotes from Jubilees and Jasher. So what's the harm in using these books? Because it just goes back. I'm gonna tell you, Brother Yeshua Yehudi, if you want to use those books, go ahead. You know, but we don't subscribe to them. You know, he gave you the precepts, Isaiah 34:16, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. And didn't say out of the book of Jubilees, out of the book of Josh. But if you be compelled to read those books, you know, go right ahead. Tell me why they have restricted me for 1 hour. I've just been throwing up thumbs. So what that mean? And you know Esau Hayden. Yashar, do you know who facilitated and published those books? That's a good point too. No, Captain Yara Khan, that's the point. That's right. The Book of Jubilees is found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, circa 300 BC. Jeremiah 7:30 to 30. They mad at me for sending lights of thumbs. Yeah, they be hating, sis. Do you have proof that those writings are? That's the question. That's right. I know Brother Damon is asking for Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 30. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7 and verse 30. And it reads, for the children of Judah have done evil in my sight, said the Lord. They have set their abominations in the house which is called by my name to pollute it. And they have built the high places of Tophet, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not. Neither came it into my heart. Meaning our people were actually sacrificing their church to these false deities, to these false gods. Being wicked as hell. Verse 32, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. For they shall burn in Tophet till there be no place. Meaning the Most High God was going to bring judgment on them in a specific place. That's right. I know. I said, do you have proof of that? None of the books that they are openly admitted to editing. That's right. Taking communion says a righteous rehearsal, sis, we subscribe. That's right. You showing the book of the water. Yeah, all right. Man, but that's right. Man buns, yeah. You shot, but more importantly, if you actually ever read it, that's right. Some of the scroll understanding on that. That's right. GMS used that scripture against me. I know. It says Habakkuk got carried by his locks to give Daniel some help. That's right. That's a great precept, Soldier Donovan. I read them, Judah, a lot. I don't see a lot that's going on. What do I DC? I disregard. Okay, you can kind of keep it at that. I meant Ezekiel. I know what you meant. Ezekiel chapter 8 took him by a lock of his hair. That's fine, brother Shabbat. I just don't deal with that. That's right. Subscribe. Cool. It says man came out of the woods, half of their body like a bear. That's right. What verse? Half bear. So 1 second. Chapter 36, verse 31. It's on years half bear. It says the war when the 2/3 was deceived. So what's the precept? Sister Samitra? You don't have that precept, sis? And I know you're talking about breakdown of Revelation, but I'm like, what point? I think you're talking about Revelations chapter 12, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get there right quick. But I know I kind of just explained it though. Or do I need to further explain it? So what did you want to know again, Sister Samitra? Was it a war between Satan? Remember, Satan is an employee of the Most High. So Satan's not going to be fighting. Lucifer makes reference to the so-called white man, the light bringer. I know a lot of times people reference Lucifer as being Satan, but that's not how the Bible describes him. Lucifer is making reference to Esau. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 12, and verse 3. And it reads, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. So we see another great war in heaven. This is not talking about where the Most High God dwells. Heaven is made reference to, guess what? A place on earth. Let's prove that. Make sure you write these precepts down, Sister Samitra, because I know a lot of times that's what hang a lot of people up, not understanding what context or what definition of heaven is in context with that scripture. Let's go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 2. So let's show you that, guess what? Heaven is referred to as rulership of the planet Earth. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 2. And it reads, the Lord has swallowed up all the inhabitants of Jacob and had not pity. He had thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He had brought them down to the ground. He had polluted the kingdom of the princes thereof. Let me jump up to verse 1. How had the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstep in the day of his anger. Meaning what? When we broke God's commandments, he took heaven from us, meaning rulership of the planet earth away from us. That's always the judgments. So you have to understand the context in which heaven is being used. We know from process of elimination that ain't no war gonna be up there with the Most High. He's too powerful for that, to let angels come against him or to let people invade his territory. No, that war that is talking about in that heaven is going to be taking place on earth. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. Who did this dragon represent? A lot of times people think it's literally a red dragon coming out breathing fire. No, this dragon represents the Edomite or Caucasian empires on the earth. Greece, Rome, Spain, Great Britain, Russia, Germany. These are all the 7 major Edomite empires. So they're basically going to do what? Fight against Christ. Verse 3 again from the top. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. Why does it say red dragon? Think about the attributes of a dragon. It destroys and burns up everything. Now think about the characteristics of the race of Caucasians. They have nothing but proliferated death and destruction on the planet Earth. Drop nuclear bombs on nations. Put whole nations of people in captivity. The Atlantic slave trade. The destruction of the Taino Indians. The conquest of the Americas. Think about these things. That's what the Most High God is John the Revelator giving them the analogies, because they are a fierce and destroying nation of people. It says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, symbolizing what? Esau, how he came out red. It says, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads represents the 7 Edomite empires. The 10 horns represents the what? The 10 common markets of Europe. These nations, or NATO, like how we bring it up to today, these people are basically going to what? Try and fight against Christ. This is what this is making reference to, sis. And 7 crowns upon his head. So I know this is going into that. Let me jump down. Verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. Meaning, this is just continuing from verse 3. Now it's talking about the archangel Michael, meaning when Christ coming to fight, he's coming with thousands upon thousands of angels, and they coming to fight against this kingdom of America and the powers that be that rule this earth. That's what verse 7 is going into, sis. It's speaking in a similitude and an analogy, but this is actually going to take place on earth. Sprinkling of holy water, good practice. No, we don't see that in the scriptures. You can anoint yourself with oil. That's what the scriptures do talk about. Our neighbor says, Dexter, the Bible also mentions lion-like men, unicorn. Those are similitudes, brother Yeshua Yehuda. Those are similitudes. The Most High God, when it talks about unicorns, you look this up. It's making reference to a rhinoceros, not an actual mythical creature. When it talks about lion-like men, meaning these men were fierce men, meaning they could fight good. When it talks about 2 lion-like men of Moab, not that they were actually lions, because the Bible doesn't deal in bestiality. When you read the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 30 and on down, it tells you that men flesh is not the same as animal flesh. So it's no mixed half man, half beast people living on the earth. So no, that's the wrong understanding of it. Yeah, the Bible doesn't speak about that. Not especially not sirens. That's right. That's exactly right, brother. Lamar got it. It's speaking of the strength of men. That's right. That's right. Even like Captain Yar and brother Dexter is going into, Captain, was a Christ hanged on a tree or nailed to a wooden cross? It was both, sis, because it just basically symbolizes a tree, and that a tree is made out of wood. So it could be either or. Now, we know during the time of the Roman captivities, when you go back and research these things, it was basically, instead of a T, it was basically they would crucify people on what they would, 2 trees in an X form. So yes, it was a tree. And I know a lot of times people think hanging from a tree, but you have to understand capital punishments during the time of Rome. So that's a good thing to look up, and you'll see how they were crucified on a tree made into an X, and they were hammered on there. That's why Christ said we was going to see his nails the holes in his hands and the holes in his feet, literally giving us an example and giving us proof that he is the Christ. Sister Clever Lord, shalom. Oh, shalom, sis. Who the sons of thunder? Somebody was asking that, Captain Yar. The sons of Zebedee. So would the cross of Christ be some going against what Christ and Paul's taught? To an extent, but remember, it's also just basically going into, are you going to be in this truth even if it means you dying? Remember, that cross represents what? Death. That's what that cross represents. Meaning, are you going to endure in this truth even if it means your life is put on the line? Because Christ taught us that, guess what? Some of us are going to have to die. Going into the chief elders and Pharisees. So there is a truce with the 5%ers and who? I don't know what you mean by that, Joseph Santana. I was talking about Jasher and Enoch and those books count. Oh, but okay. All praise God. Says like Egypt and Iraq. Did I miss some? I don't think I did. Lambdo. Says Damien, Shalom, is verse in Genesis 6:13, thy husband shall rule over thee, but read. Brother Damien, you're not trying to say that contradicts that, because it's not. If you think that it contradicts that, then you have the wrong understanding of Jeremiah 31. Is that what you're trying to say? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 22. And it reads, how long thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord had created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. I mean, are you asking? I understand what you mean. Remember, it was going to be a new spirit in the earth on how eventually women would start to compass a man. But that still don't mean that you don't apply that. You know, that commandment still stands when people get back in order. It's just showing you that, guess what? Things will basically be out of course. That's all that is saying. That doesn't contradict Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. You have to understand, when you read the Bible in context, you have to understand, Brother Damien, there is judgments that go out in the earth when we break God's commandments. You know, and it's nothing to most high God send these spirits out there. But that still doesn't negate, like you say, Genesis 3 and 16. That scripture is still applied in today's term when people and men and women are in order. Remember, it's just that the whole earth is out of course, man. That's all that is. That's all that makes reference to. Who got that precept? The whole earth is out of course. I haven't brought that precept in a while. And everything is turned upside down. I'm going to read this. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding. Let me jump down. I think it's 31 if I'm not mistaken. Somebody find that precept for me. Let's go to the book of Psalms 82. That's not the one. Maybe I got that precept for 82 and verse 5 real quick. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 5. Yeah, that's right. I thought it was another precept in Isaiah. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. And that stems, Brother Damien, for the earth being out of course, for us not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's all that's a product of. Says all except David and Hezekiah, that's right, were defective, for they so forsook, that's right. You shall put the blood of the lamb over your house, but it does not mean death shall pass you. Well, no, it does. I mean, if you do, that's what the Most High God said that saved us during that time. So that don't go against that. Yeah, I guess he was trying to say that it seemed like it contradicted it, but he didn't have the right understanding. That's going into deers, not literally. You have to look these things, man. Brother Yeshua, if you put that diligence into, going into etymologies of words, like how you doing like the book of Joshua and all those different books, you'll find out what that really means. Satyrs is just going into a type of deer. Not that it's a half man, half deer, not that. That's not the understanding. What we doing in the Middle East? Who is we? Are you making reference to America? Because if you're making reference to America, that excludes us. We not American, brother. So they over there in the Middle East because the Most High God is bringing all nations over there to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, meaning the Valley of Decision. It's Yeshua, brother Aaron. If you want to say Yeshua, hey, all means, brother. So there are grades of chain lines that y'all truce is overseen with the Nation of Islam. Well, we have no beef with the Nation of Islam, brother. We tell them for our people that is in there that is not the way. Meetings in the Masonic lounges, we don't do that, brother. That's idolatry. Following what holds, brother Joseph? We don't understand. That John 11 is a good read. It is. The book of Jubilees, chapter 7. Make it more plain, brother Joseph. John 5 talks about what happened on the day of Shabbat. We need a school in Jamaica. Yeah, we know. Shoot, Lord, get us a more established, man. I think IUIC have a school in Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken. Is Yahweh Shah Yahushua ever called Yahuwah Yahweh in the Tanakh? What is the relevance of that? Remember Isaiah chapter 29, he'll speak to us in a different language, brother. So we don't get caught up in that. If you understand the scriptures of brother Yeshua Yehuda, we don't get caught up in that. If you want to call him Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, Christ, sometimes I call him Christ, sometimes I call him Yahweh Shah. It's the same name in different translation, meaning it has the same meaning. It's going into different transliterations. Damien, Ezekiel 38, one going to break down. All praise to Samitra. Yeah, like we said, we have a video. I did many classes on a breakdown, an extensive breakdown of Revelation chapter 12, sis. Talking about an extensive one, sis. You said the book of Ezekiel 38. From what verse 1 to 9. Ezekiel 38, verse 1 to 9 is going into Russia. How the Most High God is going to bring judgment on Russia. Make reference to Gog and that leader, Gog and Magog. Gog is that leader of that particular landmass, and Magog is the name. Magog is the ancient name for Russia or that particular landmass area. So this is all that this is going in from verses 1 on down to 9. Yeah, thanks, brother Lynn. And it says, and the woman which thou sawest is a great city which ranges over the kings of the earth. That's right. Pentecost is fast approaching. Does your camp teach burn fresh baked leavened bread? 23 and 17. No, we just have a regular feast day, 23 and 17. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 17. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves. So we don't do offerings anymore, brother Yeshua Yehuda. We don't do offerings anymore because even in the scriptures in the book of Leviticus say we can't bring an offering. Because we have no temple to offer, and Christ is the the ultimate sacrifice. Christ died to do away with the sacrificial laws. So we no longer do those laws. Verse 17, ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 weighed loaves of 2 tent deals. They shall be a fine flour, and they shall be baking with leaven. These are the first fruits unto the Lord. And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs out of blemish of the first year, and young one bullock and 2 rams, and they shall be for a burnt offering to the Lord. So we don't give burnt offerings anymore, brother Yeshua Yehuda. That was the point. Verse 18 is the point. Thank you, done Israel. The foundations of the earth are out of course, unless you're talking about the. So probably I don't really use the JPS Canaan. IUIC literally in every continent except for Antarctica. All praise. And that's only because they not allowed there. That's right. Shalom, brothers. Jamaica set up a school. Hey, Lord's will, man. We get some things happening there, get some passports. Hey, Antoinette Byrne teach. I had never heard teaching like this until I heard the battle axes. All praise to the Most High, sis. That's what we're here for, to answer all questions. That's right, brother Soldier Ezra. Sirach chapter 35, great precepts. Keeping the commandments is offerings enough. Brothers in the spirit on this thing, man. We won't see soldiers, man. Oxen be putting in great precepts. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 35, and verse 1. He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering. So we see by us keeping the commandments, that suffices. But remember, that's what Christ was for. He was the ultimate sacrificial lamb. Praise Soldier Ezra. It says Oak View Kennel. Shalom, shalom, my dog right here, good brother. I used to work with you. I remember you used to wear fringes at work. Solid brother. All praise, brother. Who are you though, brother? But I remember when I used to work at, what was that one cosmetic makeup place? What is it? Mary Kay? Not Mary Kay. I used to have work with a brother that was, we used to talk about the truth, and a brother that was in the truth there. I used to work with 2 brothers there that was in the truth. I can't remember their names. But yeah, tell me your name, Ox, so I can try to remember you more, man. I got a little older, man. But remember, we do have the Feast of Pentecost coming up June 16th, Sunday. What is that? Saturday sundown to Sunday sundown. So make sure brothers and sisters are getting prepared. Remember, that's one of the 3 high holy days we're commanded to keep: Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Tabernacles, and the Feast of Pentecost. So we want to make sure that we do keep those things and make arrangements to keep it. Sister Antoinette Bird, do you have any questions, sis? About, are you new in this truth, sis? Like we said, that's what these classes are for. You said that's Juneteenth. What's Juneteenth? Feast of Pentecost? We be only time we really only keep up with these holidays when we know. Oh, at L'Oreal, all praise at L'Oreal, man. Man, you gotta come to the school, man. How you been, man? I could have sworn. Do you still have that car? Cause I ain't gonna lie. I think I seen your car with that Yahweh on the back in Hebrew. I could have sworn maybe a year ago I saw you. I just remember seeing that Yahweh on the back of your windshield. Yeah, all praises, man. Give me a call, man. My phone number is in the description. Man, make sure you give me a call, man. We right over here by Big T. Man, you got to come to the school, man. Yeah, that printing place. Yeah, they done moved to Mexico, so I had to give me another damn job. But yeah, man, give me a call, man. Brothers Aquan, Ahmed Wah, Deuteronomy 6:15, thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, but at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name. That's a great precept. literally showing you we not doing sacrifices. You don't even have a temple to give sacrifice. Christ was the ultimate sacrificial lamb. Great precept. Where thou shalt sacrifice the Passover even at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. That's right. That's exactly right. There's another precept too in the book of Leviticus or Numbers, if I'm not mistaken, chapter 10, verse 11. All praise, man. Man, you still at L'Oreal out? Says, I'm good, man. What y'all that close? I could definitely make it. Or y'all? No, we bought right there by the car wash. We right across the street from the car wash. Right there next to Kim's Fashion. We right next to it, man. Lord bless us with a nice building, man. We used to have a building in Pleasant Grove. Lord blessed us with a bigger building. You know, got a little bigger congregation, more space, man. The Lord, all praises. These damn battle axe soldiers, man. So, Kevin, you been on so many plantations, you can't. I really can't. I remember one time, man, I was going them damn temp service, man. I had so many damn jobs that won some. It wasn't even funny. I know at least maybe about 7 of them. And I hate that because y'all know I'm a plain man dwelling in tents. I like to do the same thing every day. You know, I really fur away from different stuff, man. You know, I like a routine, man. Any other brothers and sisters got any other questions or anything, man? Yeah, you got to come to the school. Make sure you call. Man, you'll be laughing at all them plantation jobs I done had, Brother Dexter. We supposed to be brothers, brother. But yeah, any other questions concerning anything, brothers and sisters? Need any counsel or anything? You still at L'Oreal? You're not the only one I'm at. Damn, you ain't at L'Oreal no more. Damn. Saquon. I'm a wide. That's right. It's like it counts. Nah, you know I'm messing with you. You know I'm messing with you. But she all praise, man. Even like scripture said, I know Captain Yaron brought it out. Hey, man, don't work. You don't eat, man. Any other questions, man? Before we get off the chat, I know we're approaching 2 hours, over 2 hours. Make sure y'all go back and read 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles. Make sure y'all get yeah, most definitely call Sister Sapphire. You know, that's fine. Yeah, give me a text and you know we get on the phone, sis. That's what we're here for. Like I say, did he? He's the word. Who is he? I can't remember his name because he came out one time when WFI came down here, and I hadn't seen Ak in a long time. Can't remember his name. I was trying to. Damn. I never noticed he used to wear a Lion of Judah hat though. I never used to. Yeah, he used to drive the forklift. I never knew. Damn, what is his name? Getting old, man. I can't remember. It was right there. The light-skinned brother. I cannot remember. Yashash. It wasn't Yamir. That's what his name was. Yamir. Yamir. Says when you first came into the truth, y'all was the one of the camps that I first started learning from. Love you, brothers. Same here. All praise, man. All praise to the Most High. Like you say, shoot, if you in town anytime, ain't no damn Johnny. Damn, say, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, these battle axes, man, these brothers is a joy to be around, man. These brothers is something else. You get Officer Yaakov to my Johnny. I don't know no damn Johnny. Then you must be talking about. I don't remember that, brother. Yes, I've been following for a year, trying to understand and learn the truth. I have kids that I have to reteach me, Church of Yah and Christ lies. Yeah, that's right, sis. Like we said, that's why we have these Q&As. We have our phone numbers in the description. If you call, like we always tell brothers and sisters, come to the class. If you in the Dallas area, look us up. Um, how you can get more edified. We have classes 7 days a week, except for 6 days a week, except for Thursdays when brothers hold camp 101. We teach brothers on how to be out there at camp, going over reading, going over breakdowns of precepts, standing in order, watching out for our backs, and so on and so forth. So the Holy Ghost showed me as she to me on my KJV Bible. Say that again, our neighbor. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Jasmine Warren, shalom. Now he was dark. He used to wear the glasses. I may be getting y'all mixed up. Damn, Officer Yaakov. Yeah, just give us a call. Our numbers are in the description. Just give us a call, man. Get in touch with any one of the captains. And we'll most definitely link up with you, invite you to the school and all that. 9 years, that's right. Prospected a lot of camps. Nobody put on my heart, man, the battle axe. That's right. I know we still working with our brother Dexter. We just still in Atlanta. I'm trying to get the number. I can't find it because I'm serious about this thing. I done let the white woman go. All praise. I dropped the drug addiction. All praise, man. That is, man. That's one of the things, like I said, I had stopped doing smoking and selling drugs. Fully got into the truth, man. You know. Oh, yeah, you're right. Soldier Donovan, you on point, man. We got classes 6 days a week. I forgot Captain Yara do. I can forget about I forget he do it before class. You damn sure right. We do have class 7 days a week. All praise to the Most High, man. You damn sure right. You sure right. We do got class 7 days a week. So it's no way that brothers and sisters ain't watching those classes to stay in the spirit each and every day. Yeah, thank you, Soldier Ezra. Talking about 7 days. Really? Ain't no really. It is 7 days. I was wrong. Damn, Cap was wrong. Yeah, you moved to Atlanta. I didn't know you moved from Florida, but no, we always in talks with like we say, trying to spread this truth to those specific areas. I know Captain Gerald, I was trying to set up something to come down there so we can officially link up with you, You know what I'm saying? And meet you face to face. Ain't no really, we do got 7 days a week. So my bad, man. Got classes 7 days a week. And the way brothers and sisters shouldn't be trying to keep their spirit fed, especially with the battle axes. Like that with that, we give our honor and praises to the Most High and to His Son Yahushua. Make sure brothers and sisters stand in spirit, share, like these videos, man. Help us, pick up through the algorithm, man. This is important for brothers and sisters and for the world, for these classes to reach our people. You don't see Christians holding Q&A classes, man. You don't see those things, man. You don't see that. It says Holy Ghost is a she according to my Bible, but I can't find the scriptures in. I'm gonna tell you because it ain't in there, our neighbor. When you read the book of John, chapter 14, he shall teach you all things. It's not a she, a feminine spirit. But I know sometimes the Most High God refers to wisdom in the feminine. Just a allegory that he uses, but not with the Holy Spirit. It's just going into the laws of the Most High. But with that, we give all honor and praise to the Most High and to His Son Yahushua. Pray brothers and sisters was edified. Like I said, if you have any other questions, feel free to call, man. Lines are open for brothers and sisters, man, to help feed their spirit and to stay in this truth and keep these commandments. Yeah, come on. Yeah, you already know that. You don't need no introduction. La D. Shalom, Mark. Shalom. When you come back to class, like we say, you got 6 likes, man. Get them likes up, man. We always tell brothers and sisters to keep the law, so we always like to bring out a law. Let's go back to the opening law that we brought out. Soldier Donner was in the spirit with that make breads to the queen of heaven. I totally forgot about that one. That's in the spirit. Iron sharpen iron. Let's go back to the Leviticus. I'm already right here, man. That's the spirit. That's right, soldier Renault. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 23. And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation. That means not abstaining from Mother's Day, Father's Day, Cinco de Mayo Day, all these different type of things, man. These things are nowhere in the Bible, man. You know, and by default, you're worshiping other deities and idols. It says, and ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation, which I cast out before you. For they committed all these things. And that's what they do today. They commit these things. Those laws are for them, not for us. It says, and therefore I abhorred them. So when we partake in those things, how do you think that the Most High God feel about us? He abhors us too for following in these ways when he has given us the best ways ever. You know, he says, I wish that I was out there, lost my sons to this world, but I have two I want to save. My daughters, no male role models. Yeah. And we hate that for sisters, man. You know, that's why us setting up these schools in these many different areas is pivotal, especially where our people are, you know, so our people can learn some type of structure and spiritual structure that the Bible gives us, man. So, hey, throw up those prayers for Israel as the whole. Pray that the Most High God, hey, establishing the 144,000 as we speak, man. And pray for the destruction of this kingdom, man. And with that, say Shalom, Israel. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.